And what is darkness? The absence of light. The light passed me by and said hello. I didn't say hello back. He moved on. He continued moving. And as the light moved, I stopped. I did not follow the light. When I stopped, the light passed me by. When the light left, what was remaining? Darkness.
Are there no objective truths? Let's just talk about how you might quickly respond to the claim that there are no objective truths. Especially in a world, right, where the idea of subjectivism, that everything's a matter of personal perspective, perspectival truth, reigns in a postmodern world that rejects the notion of objective truths. When someone says there is no objective truth, I think it'd be fair just to simply ask, well, is that objectively true? Because if you're saying there is no objective truth, then it cannot be objectively true that there is no objective truth. Do you see the problem here? It is a self-refuting claim. It's the equivalent of me saying I can't speak a word of English. In order to say that, I have to actually contradict the very claim I'm making. And the same is true when someone says there is no objective truth. To make such a claim, you'd have to be making the claim objectively. So you could simply ask, is that just your opinion? Or do you believe that that claim about truth applies to both of us? That it's objectively, transcendently true? Well, if it is, there's at least one objective, transcendent truth, that there is no objective, transcendent truth, and that makes no sense at all. So I think we're stuck with this hard reality that some things are true and some things are false. We can deny these, but when I step out in that street, if the bus is coming, it's either coming or it's not. And it's important for me to know the difference. Truth can be broken into two different categories. There are subjective truth claims and objective truth claims. Now, subjective truth claims are the kinds of personal opinions that subjects like myself can hold. So if I said to you, for example, chocolate chip cookies are the best dessert, well, that's a subjective claim because it's my personal opinion that chocolate chip cookies are the best dessert. If I said to you, on the other hand, that the antibiotic isoniazid is what cures tuberculosis, well, my opinion cannot control what cures tuberculosis. I can't say, well, my opinion of Diet Coke would cure tuberculosis. Well, you could say that, but it won't cure it. Your opinion is really not effectual on this issue because that's not a subjective truth claim that isoniazid cures TB. That's an objective truth claim because it's not grounded or based on the claims of a subject. It's based on the reality of an object known as isoniazid. There's a difference between subjective claims and objective claims. Now look, I don't think we should spend a lot of time arguing with people about our subjective opinions. So if I said to you, I think that chocolate chip cookies are the best dessert in the world, how much time are you really going to spend arguing with me about whether or not I should believe that? But if I said to you, and I didn't even know I had TB, but if I said to you, once I discovered I had TB, that I think that, a Diet Pepsi is going to cure my TB, I would hope you would argue with me about that. It turns out objective claims are incredibly important and are worth arguing about because you can be deadly wrong about your objective truth claims. I would hope you would tell me, no, that diet soda is not going to cure your TB. Isoniazid does that. Now, why is this important to us? Because the claim that God exists or that Christianity is true is not a subjective claim, like my opinions related to cookies. It's an objective claim about the nature of reality. Look, it might not be true. God may not exist, or Christianity may not be true, but my opinion is powerless to make it true if it's not, or to keep it from being true if it is, because like the cure for TB, Christianity is the cure for what is killing us spiritually. And if we continue to treat it like a cookie instead of a cure, nothing good comes from that.
Well, the reality is that while do their very best to form our thought in such a way as to inoculate us against God's truth, we continue to be creatures made in the image of God. And we continue to live as creatures made in the image of God, which means we are going to live inconsistently when we try to live upon the principles that we have been taught, that there is no objective truth, so on and so forth. We will not be able to live that way. the objective reality of God's law, of who we are. And the Christian worldview, based upon God's description of what man is the consistent one.
There's no such thing as absolute truth. Okay, is that true? Is what you're saying there's like no truth, so what you're saying must not be true then, right? See?
The light has come into the world, but men or people chose darkness over the light. They preferred darkness over the light because their deeds were of evil origin. They didn't want to come to the light lest their evil deeds being exposed. So what did they do? Instead of acknowledging the light, they rejected the light for one simple reason. They were not willing to give up their personal pleasures for the sake of Christ. And so many people are doing exactly the same thing in our time and age. The issue is, it is us, not the Lord. The light came to the world. Now, who is this light that came to the world? The Son, S-O-N, who is the S-U-N of the world. Come to the Lord and say, Lord, I'm weak. I cannot do it. I've tried. The more I tried, I failed. The more I tried to come closer, I kept my distance. I went the opposite direction. Get to know the Lord. Ask Him to help you to get to know Him. Because the more you know Him, the more you will love Him. The more you love Him, then everything outside of the Lord means nothing. Matters not.